What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Those on the podcast, welcome back to a brand new audio. In today's little talk here, I wanted to talk about how you can get paid in full on the call with prospects that are excited to buy, excited to jump on board, excited to get ready and implement whatever you have or take advantage of your services. But jumping right into that topic, firstly, let's talk about why a lot of people don't get paid directly on the call. Firstly, on the seller side, they just haven't made it a logical next step for the prospect to move forward right then and there. Secondly, they haven't built enough value in their offer, or they haven't built enough belief or trust in the achievement of what they're telling them they're going to achieve by taking their services. This happens to a ton of salesmen, a ton of entrepreneurs, especially in the digital marketing space, because usually how the call goes is they jump on board, they ask the person a ton of questions, they get really excited if the prospect is qualified, they get really bummed out if the prospect isn't qualified. Either way, right after they ask them a ton of questions, just hammering them out back and forth one after another, they just go right into their presentation, right into their offer, and the prospect usually says, I need to think about it. Can you send me a proposal? I need to, look over your website. Is there anything that you can send me on this? If that's you rushing into the presentation after bombarding the prospect with questions, just stop. I'm here to show you that there's a much better way having your prospects leave the call excited and happy to work with you. And if they don't buy right away, they'll end up leaving the call respecting the hell out of you, and they will come back when your offer is a better fit for them. And if they know anyone that would benefit from your services, they'll be quick and feel confident about referring you to them. So without further ado, let's break down a proper sales pitch. So how should a real strategy session go? First and foremost, obviously, we're going to start off with our framing. It's really important to be the first one to talk, be the first one to say, hello, how's it going? We want to show that we have authority. We want to show that we're confident. We want to show that, we've done this before. This is not our first rodeo, right? So first thing we're going to do is do our framing, and we're going to let the prospect know what the expectations are for the call. Very standard. Everybody knows that. I know a lot of people like to, kind of bull rush with this, and they like to say, hey, I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions, and if you're a good fit, I'll invite you into our program, or I'll invite you to our services, or whatever. And, this could turn off some prospects. A lot of prospects are just okay with this, but this could also turn off some other ones. It's kind of, you might run into a bit of an ego clash. So I like to kind of say the same thing, but in a lighter kind of fashion. I'll be like, hey man, honestly, I'm just going to find out if and how I can help you. Does that work for you? Awesome. If I can help you, I'll make you an offer and show you kind of what we do. If I can't help you, I'll just point you in the right direction. Sound good? And he's gonna be like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll be like, awesome. At that point, if we feel like we're both a great fit for each other, then we can get started today. If not, no worries. Awesome. Ready to get started? He's gonna be like, yeah, let's get started. We're going to dive right into it. So like I just said, first things first, we want to find out where they are. This is very, very important to do in a conversational way. A ton of people, when they're finding out where they are, when they're talking about their prospect's current situation, they're just hammering question after question after question. There's no conversation in between it. It doesn't come off natural. This part of the pitch, this part of the sales call, you need to come off the most natural as possible, because you're really talking about boring stuff. Not necessarily boring stuff, but stuff that the prospect doesn't really care to talk about. They do not care, and they're not there on the call to talk about where they are for 20, 30 minutes. You want to get through this quick. You want to get through this concisely. And that's why it's also good to do a little bit of research and know a little bit more about your prospect before they got on the call, so you can avoid a lot of those, oh, so what do you do kind of questions, the basic ones that you should really already know before they got on the call. This is where a lot of salesmen go wrong, is they spend so long just asking them boring, mundane questions that don't really matter at the end of the day. Instead of asking, these boring questions, just make sure you go deep and ask the most important ones that you need to know to move forward and then move along. Again, the prospect's not there to talk about where they are. They're there to talk about where they want to go and how you're going to get them there. So you need to make this very conversational and the least amount of questions possible. Moving on from that, we're going to find out where they want to go and the deeper why behind it. A lot of people are very surface level with this. If they're running an offer that's revenue generating, like a B2B offer, usually, they'll just say, how much revenue do you want to make? And they leave it at that and they move on. but you want to really dig deep here. Why do they want to make that amount of revenue? What are they going to do with that extra revenue? Is it going to be to invest back into the business if they're a solopreneur? Is it going to be because they just want to kind of change their lifestyle? Is it because they want to take an extra vacation a year? Is it because they want to invest in something in the future? Why do they really need that extra revenue? Why do they need that outcome? What is the deeper meaning behind this? What's the payoff for them at the end of the day? A lot of people go way too surface level with their questions. We need to go deep. I like deep questions rather than wide questions. And when I say deep versus wide, I don't need to know a lot about a bunch of different things, right? I don't need to, let me rephrase that. I don't need to know a little bit about a lot of different things. I need to know a lot about a few things to really understand their situation and the deeper meaning behind why they're actually on this call, why they actually got on here to speak with me, and why they need help for what they're obviously looking for help with. Moving on from that, we want to find out why they aren't there yet. So they just told us where they are, where they want to go. So why aren't they there? When do they need to get there? What happens if they don't get there in a specific time frame? What we're doing here is we're really drawing out needs. I'm getting them to explicitly give me their needs, express their needs, tell me exactly what it is that's holding you back and what you need from me to achieve your goal. The reason why I'm asking this is because it's going to help you avoid a ton of objections. If we ask them a bunch of questions about when they need to get there, they're not going to be able to turn around and say, I need a month or 2 months to think about this because they just told me their goal was to get there in a few months, or their goal was to get to this XYZ goal in a year or so, right? So this really, really helps you avoid objections. And this was huge for one of our clients, Tom, when he started implementing this, really going through and asking good questions. And we just worked with him on his questioning to really dig deep and find out deeper meanings behind what the prospect's needs were. And when he was able to do this, now he barely gets objections or any kind of price negotiation on his sales calls. He's able to close them out at high percentages super, super easily without much hassle. So when we're finding out why they aren't there yet, we're really trying to extract pain. We're really trying to get them to say, okay, I'm not there because I failed in this. I'm not there because I struggle with this. I'm not there because I really just don't know how to do this. And I need someone to guide me. I need help with that. I need someone to do it for me if you have a more done for you offer. And I need to get there within the next 2 months. We want to get urgency out of them with that kind of question. A lot of times people struggle with urgency. So what they do is they turn around and they say, if you buy today, it's going to be $1,000 off. If you buy today, it's going to be $2,000 off. That's just, it's fake urgency most of the time, unless you have a real sale going on. It's Christmas or Boxing Day, or it's your birthday and you're doing a client birthday deal. It's usually fake urgency, and the prospect can see right through it, because at the end of the day, if you say you get $1,000 off and that prospect says no today, in 3 days, if they hit you up and say, hey, I'm ready to pay in full with that same $1,000 off, you're probably going to say yes. So at the end of the day, giving that fake urgency, it's not as powerful as you think, especially in a B2B space when you're working with other entrepreneurs that know what you're doing, know these tactics, know they're just expecting this kind of stuff. So instead of creating urgency with all these heavy price drops, let's create urgency from the explicitly stated needs of the prospect. So it's like, hey, John, you told me that your goal was to get there in 3 months, and we can't get you to your goal in 3 months if you need a week to think about this, or if you need 2 months to think about this, or if you need to ponder it. We have to get started today if you want to hit that XYZ amount or that XYZ goal in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever they explicitly stated to you. And we want to really find out what's at stake here. That's why we're asking, what happens if they don't hit that goal, and they don't hit that goal in the specific time frame? What's at stake? It's like, John, we won't be able to hit that goal, and you told me you needed to hit that goal by XYZ amount of time because you wanted to move out if they're, a younger solopreneur, or because you wanted to jump into this new venture, because you wanted to start investing in this opportunity that's not going to be there forever. We're just drawing out urgency, drawing out pain. There's tons of questions I go over with this. You want to check out my objection handling video, or you can check out my video on 10 questions that avoid objections if you want to kind of see some more questions that we asked for that. Moving on, then we want to explain the gap and formulate a game plan. This is something that a lot of people miss. Just like the example I gave at the beginning of the video, most entrepreneurs, after they find out where they are, they extract some pain. They say, wow, this person's super qualified. Wow, I can definitely help this person. Wow, this person really seems like they need my help and they're definitely going to buy. So they get excited. They jump right into their presentation and say, okay, well, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. Buy it now. Here's my price. Let's get it going. Let's go. And the prospect, it works if the prospect really is in pain, but you could really jump up that closing rate by 20, 30, 40 extra percentage if you just incorporated this one step, which is explain the gap and formulate a game plan with them. We want to co-create a solution now. So at this point, I'm going to say, awesome, man. Well, you told me where you are. You told me where you want to go. You told me why you aren't there yet. Sounds like this is what you're really struggling with, correct? Prospect going to say, yeah, man, that's what I'm struggling with. Awesome. Can I kind of just give you my feedback, tell you what I'm thinking? And this is where they're going to say, yes, we're going to give them real value and honest feedback. And the great thing about this is they will trust and respect you way more for it, because if they don't end up buying and you actually gave them real actionable steps, actionable feedback that they can go and use and kind of implement, they're going to come back. They're going to refer people. They're going to just be happy and feel like the call was valuable regardless. That's the biggest thing with these sales calls. You don't want people to feel like they just got on the call to be sold. You want them to feel like they got on the call to get help, and that's what they got when they left the call. They feel like, okay, regardless of this guy I bought right away. This guy helped me. And if his sales calls are helping me this much, his offer or his services are going to help me that much more. It's like the sense of putting out content. It's like, hey, if this guy's free stuff is this good, how good is his paid stuff at the end of the day? So are they qualified, right? Don't be afraid to tell people no. So many people are just there to sell any and everyone on their services. When I'm on a sales call, if I'm talking to the person and this person is not a good fit, this person is not qualified, I'm just going to straight up tell them and be like, listen, man, you're not a good fit for this. I don't think me making you an offer and us working together is a good, I don't think it would be the most beneficial thing for you. I think this would be better for you right now based on what stage you're in. And when you get to this point, then come back. Or if they're just hugely not qualified, just tell them they're not qualified and give them some advice on what they can do next, and keep it pushing. Because at the end of the day, you're not there to offer any and everyone and just rack up money and have unhappy customers that are going to leave negative reviews, be upset about you, and just talk crap behind your back. You're there to help people that you're there to help. You have to be very specific and tailored in who you help, and you want to only bring on the people that you can help, because then it's just going to be beneficial to you in the long run. That extra 1,000, that extra 2,000, that extra 5, 10 grand is not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. If you're taking on people that aren't qualified, aren't a good fit, you might as well take on less people, focus on getting them really, really good results, because they're such a good fit and they're so easy to work with. And you can scale off the back of those amazing testimonials, those amazing reviews, those amazing results that you were able to generate for them. Taking on a client that's a bad fit, that saps your energy, that you have to put in so much effort with, that you have to over communicate with when you're trying to fulfill or service multiple clients, is going to be more of a hassle than it's worth, more of a hassle than that extra 1,000 or 2,000 that they're paying you for your services. So at the end of the day, be honest whether someone's qualified or not. Honestly, take them on board if you can really help them. Don't take them on board if you can't, because it's a lot more fun when you have a client that's crushing it than if you have a lot of clients with only some of them crushing it and a lot of them unhappy, right? And here, don't be confused, because we're not going into the technical what and causing confusion in the prospect. We're not, for example, if you're a Facebook advertising agency, you're not going to sit there and explain to them the intricacies of scaling a campaign, or the intricacies of setting up a pixel, or the intricacies of, setting up events and everything like that. What we're going to do here is we're going to talk to them about the concepts of how to think and the methodologies they need to implement to see success. So instead of saying, oh, this is how you set up a pixel because we're going to, write out ad creatives that's, follow the ADA method. No, instead, we're going to say, okay, we need to develop an inbound attraction system for you to be bringing leads in every single day. So we're talking about the concept. We're talking about the methodology that they need to go out and implement to actually see success in this. And we're really breaking it down so it makes sense, but not in a complicated, confusing way. Usually I'll only bring up 1 or 2 things that they need to implement that'll get them the quickest win, so that even if they don't jump on board with me, they can still see success and come back later because they were able to see results. Now, after we explain the gap, we're going to say, well, this is the gap. This is why it's a gap. If we change this, you'll solve that. You'll solve that bridge. You'll be able to cross that gap. And this is how that gap was crossed by other prospects that solved it in this way. So we're kind of proving our game plan, proving our methodology through past results. And if you are someone that's brand new to the game, you don't have past results, you don't have case studies or testimonials, you can show them social proof through people you even haven't worked with, through people that did the same methodologies for someone else or with someone else. So for example, if you're trying to explain to a prospect how a VSL is what they need for their business to generate booked appointments, you can say, oh, I know this marketer, or like Sam Ovens or some marketer that's crushing it with a VSL. Talk to them about how that VSL performs, the intricacies of that, and the kind of breakdown of what the conversion rate for a VSL funnel like that would be. So you don't have to have a bunch of case studies and testimonials to show proof of concept in what you're actually offering the prospect. And this was huge for me when I was first starting out my agency years ago, and I didn't have any testimonials, didn't have any case studies, but I was still able to close $2,000 a month deals, $1,600 a month deals. Was because I was able to show them proof of concept even outside of my own client base. So we're going to make the game plan. We're going to prove the game plan. And we're going to say, hey, yeah, this is how it worked for someone else. So that's why it's going to work for you. Then moving on from that, what a lot of people don't do and what I've been implementing, and it's been working great for our clients and for my agency, is self-qualifying. So we're going to get the prospect to self-qualify themselves and give them the catch, because a lot of people are in the notion. A lot of people are so busy talking about how amazing their services is, how perfect everything's going to go, how they're going to scale them to XYZ revenue, scale them to XYZ amount in a short amount of time, in 30 days or less. They're always talking about how perfect everything is. And in life, we all know everything is not that simple. Everything is not that perfect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give them the catch. We're going to give them the negatives and tell them why this might not work for them. So after we make the game plan, I'm going to say, okay, this is the game plan. You set to go with that? You good to go with that? They're going to say yes. I'm going to be like, awesome. And if we implement this, if we do this, take these steps together over the next 60 to 90 days, you will hit your goal, or at least be right on track to hitting it very, very soon. And they're going to say, awesome, sounds good. And be like, perfect. But there are a few things I do need to work through with you to make sure that we can hit your goal, because if these things aren't on track, the chances are it's going to be very, very difficult for you, or you're just not going to get to where you want to go. Can I walk you through those things? And they're going to say, yeah, man, walk me through it, because nobody gives them the catch. Nobody gives them the bad news. So we're going to set ourselves apart. We're going to give them the bad news. And what this is going to do is build massive amounts of trust. Because when you talk about how great something is and then say, turn around right after and say, but this is how it could not be great, it's going to be so transparent, because the people love people that give pros and cons. Pros and cons seems like someone that's unbiased, right? When you only give pros, you come off as biased. When you give pros and cons, you come off as unbiased, therefore making your actual opinion and your pros have a lot more weight. So we're going to give them the catch. And usually what I say, for example, my offer, I'm a sales consultant. I help people with closing strategies, appointment booking strategies, and building solid offers so they can sell their services for high ticket. What I always go through with my prospects, and this is completely honest, I'll say, there's 3 things we really got to cover here. One is confidence. Are you someone that's confident in your ability to deliver your service? Are you confident in your offer? Are you confident with what you do? And the reason why I want to ask them this is because I can help you with sales, but I can't help you get good at sales if you're selling garbage. Right? So I need to know that you're confident with what you're offering. You're confident with your service delivery. If I'm going to help you close more clients, I don't want to work with someone who's selling garbage and help them sell more garbage at the end of the day. So I need to make sure that they're confident in their service delivery. So that's the first thing I ask them. They're going to give me a yes. They're going to give me a no, whatever it may be. Then I'm going to say, awesome. Okay, great. If they said yes. So when it comes down to it as well, are you someone that's quick to implement ideas. How fast can you execute? I want to find out if they're a procrastinator, right? I run a consulting business. If I'm giving you the steps, giving you the guidelines, and you're not going to execute on that stuff, if you're not going to actually put into practice, it's going to be really hard for you to see success. I've had clients that take a month to 2 months to see success. I had clients like Tom, like I was just talking about, he was able to close three clients in his first week and make 3-4 grand right away from joining the program, because from day one, he started implementing exactly what I told him to do. He showed up on every call, and he's just been consistent. He's been fast in his execution at the end of the day. So those are the clients you want, and you want to make sure that that's the person you're bringing on board, is someone that's fast to execute. Now, and lastly, I asked them, are you someone that's consistent? Because I'm going to give you the framework. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to follow up with you. But are you someone that's consistent? Are you able to be consistent for the next 60 to 90 days when we go through this together? Because at the end of the day, if I can do everything from my end, but if you're not going to be consistent, it's just not going to work. You're not going to see success. You're not going to get any results. Simple as that. So I'm going to ask them that, and they're going to pretty much explain to me that they are a good fit. They're qualifying themselves to me, almost kind of, saying, yes, let's do this. Let me work with you, because, I am confident. I am fast to execute. I am consistent. Please, let's just do this. Let's get it done. And it's just going to build a lot more trust and just show that you care, not only in the kind of services you're providing, but it shows that you care about the person you're bringing on board. And usually after this, I'll kind of move on and I'll say, perfect. I'm glad you're confident, glad you're fast to execute, glad you're consistent. So how do you learn best? And that's more of a question for my specific offer, because I do consulting. So I'll also ask them how they learn best. What kind of resources would they need from me? What kind of support would they need from me to really make sure they see success with this? And they'll say, well, I'm kind of a person that really needs, more one-to-one time. I'm kind of a person that needs more frameworks and scripts. I'm kind of a person that needs, just some video training. I'm kind of person that needs a group to network with, to really ask questions and find out how it works for a lot of other people. Whatever their answer is, we'll talk a little bit about that. But at the end of the day, we're showing that we not only care, again, about our service, but we care about the actual person we're bringing on board, and we care about how we can get them results specifically tailored to them. And that's the biggest thing there, is people don't care about how well you get results for other people. They care about how well you can get results for them specifically. And that's why I'm heavily just relying on, but look at all the case studies we have. Look at all the testimonials we have. It's not that powerful if you're not really talking to them about, okay, how can we tailor this for you, your specific situation, your specific offer? And that's why case studies and testimonials work way better when they're tight knit to the prospect. For example, if I had 100 case studies of agency owners closing, going from 10% close rates to 50% close rates, that's awesome. If I'm talking to an agency owner who is an agency owner for real estate professionals, and I have 100 general agencies in a whole bunch of different niches going from 10% to 50%, great. They're going to love it. They're going to say, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. But now if I had 100 testimonials of agencies that service real estate clients going from 10% to 50%, just directly in his niche, all people that do exactly what he does, and all of them seeing success going from 10, like raising their close rates by 5x, that's when it's really, really powerful. And the reason why it's so powerful is because it's tailored to him. He has no shadow of a doubt that I can help him with exactly what he needs help with. And that is the beauty of narrowing when you're first starting out as well. But at the end of the day, if we can it doesn't matter. It's not a bad thing if you have a lot of testimonials in different niches. You just have to really talk to that person and show them that you have competency for their specific offer, for their specific service, so you can show that you can help them with whatever it is you're offering. Now, after we make them self-qualify, that's when we're going to go into our offer. I think I'm covering it here. So now we're going to go into our offer. Again, only making the offer if they're a good fit. If they're not qualified, like we talked about here, then there's no point in making them the offer. It just doesn't make sense. You just seem money hungry. You just seem like you're trying to grab dollars. Stop doing it if they're not a good fit. So we're only going to make the offer if they're a good fit, and we're going to tie their stated needs into our benefits, quantified as value. Now, this is the real kicker. Every time we're mentioning a benefit, I'm not going to, even though my prospect can benefit from so many things from our program, even though there's so many different ways that they actually see the results. I'm not going to sit there and explain them all. I'm only going to focus on the benefits they mentioned to me that they need help with, because that's what they care about. At the end of the day, people don't care that you help in a lot of things. They just care that you help in the thing very, very well. People don't care if you can get them more sales, help them build a team, help them do XYZ. They care a lot more if you can help them get way more sales, or you can help them build an amazing team, right? That's what they want to hear. So we really want to tie in their stated needs. And it's so powerful when you use stated needs, because they explicitly said that they need help with that, rather than just giving an advantage and just saying, hey, you know, we can help with this also. And they're like, okay, that's cool. Never really mentioned it, but that's a cool little benefit, right? When you get into higher ticket sales, it is beneficial to focus more on helping with the one or two problems really, really well than it is to offer a bunch of features that they don't really care about for a high ticket price, because then the person just feels like they're paying for a bunch of things they don't need. We want them to only be paying for what they do need. We want the perceived value in that thing to be super, super good. So we're only really going to talk about the benefits in terms of their stated needs. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to end it off here. There's so much things I could go into when it comes into this. I could talk about this for another hour. I didn't expect this portion to be 25 minutes actually, but it turns out it is. Either way, guys, I hope you got some value. I hope you did enjoy. If you guys learned something else about your sales calls, usually people don't implement the game plan. Usually people don't implement the self-qualify. Implement that if you aren't currently into your sales calls. If you're an agency owner, if you're a consultant, plug that in and watch your sales skyrocket. I'm telling you, you're going to have way more respect. You're going to have way more trust. You're going to have way more belief. And people are just going to be excited after they get off the call to work with you, and excited to refer people to you, and excited to really just spread all your stuff around. So just do it. Give it a shot. Let me know what you thought. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, leave a like on the video. If you are someone that wants to learn how to close more sales calls, build better offers, set more appointments, feel free to book a call with me down below. I have my schedule link. We're going to go through this exact thing when you do. We're going to go through this. We're going to really set a game plan together, and we're going to see if you're a good fit for my offer. And if you're not a good fit, I won't even make you that offer. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got value, and I'll see you in the next video.